Hi there.
Hey,
How are you?
we're back.
Good. Welcome to Bible Slash Chat, where we chat.
Slash the Bible.
Oh my word, we slash the Bible. Jason, that's terrible.
Gotta
All
get
right.
to things quickly
So
sometimes.
that is actually true. We have the
No, I'm
intros are
kidding.
getting longer and longer. We need to, you know.
All right, hurry up. No,
Anyway.
just kidding. No.
So we've been talking
Yeah.
about creation, implications of creation.
Yeah.
I think they're fascinating how these
They
other things
really
all
are, actually.
connect into really the first three chapters of Genesis.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about. We've talked about marriage and family now.
Yeah.
We've talked about a whole bunch of different implications, work. But there's one more. I think it's fascinating. God made the world, right? And there's something else to that. Like, not only is he the creator of the world,
Yeah.
he didn't. But he, like, not the deist view of God, where he starts the clock and then steps away. There's more to it than that.
Yeah.
So, what are the implications that come from that?
Yeah, the like God created the world and he still sustains it. Like he's directly, actively involved in upholding all the laws of nature and just everything in the universe to work as it's supposed to work and carrying that forward, as it says in Hebrews 1, 3, I think, in Christ to its ultimate consummation and fulfillment, till the end of the ages. And so in Christ all things hold together, Colossians 1 says that, and he's the one bearing that forward unto its ultimate purpose for his glory and for the good of his people. So since day one, he's been upholding the stars and upholding the seasons and just the water cycle, sustains our bodies, feeds animals, makes sure plants grow, provides rain. I mean, just every single little detail that you and I can think of that's on National Geographic or the Discovery Channel. God is fully in control of all those things, like all the time, comprehensively and in minute, like just precise detail. We see that in Matthew 6. That's like one of the helps for anxiety is to recognize that. Look, like these birds, pigeons out there. Someone once called them. So I remember someone said, rats with wings. They go out there and they don't do anything. They don't work for their food. They're just birds. They just happen to be. God made them, and yet they survive, and they survive a lot. Actually, the birds that are out there when you're eating outdoors, and you got all these like sparrows and other things flying around and crows. It's not because they're such good birds. It's not because they're
like excellent scavengers.
God provides all the things that they need so that they can eat. And they can provide for themselves and for their babies, etc. Same thing with the lilies of the field and the grass and wildflowers in the same chapter in Matthew 6, like 25. God so clothes the grass of the field, which is alive today, and you just throw it into the fire tomorrow, and then he goes from the lesser, like grass and birds, and to the greater, and it's like, aren't you more precious than grass and wildflowers and a pigeon? Of course you are. And so Matthew 6, Psalm 104 is another one that says God cares for everything in an active and like detailed working kind of a way.
That's awesome. So when you drop a fry at In-N-Out, in one real sense, God is feeding the birds through that.
Come pick it up. Or a squirrel or something. It's just crazy. All those contingencies we could never account for, but God planned it all out. And he's working it out in perfect timing for every single animal, plant, and us.
When we lived in India, there were pigeons everywhere, and they're disgusting. They are the nastiest birds.
They are.
But this helps a little bit.
They're still nasty, but
but look at that. God's providing for them and sustaining them. I mean, that's a beautiful thing.
It's a way of like looking at creation and saying, wow, it's kind of cool. Like they're there because God put them there and kept them alive. That those dolphins or porpoises swimming across the ocean, or that squirrel going up the tree with an acorn or
it's all of it.
It's just God doing his work in creation because he is the Lord of creation and he cares for us. And so it's actually a comforting thing, and when we just look at nature, it actually should fill us with a sense of awe and gratitude.
That's fantastic. So now let me ask you some follow-up question to that. So that cure for anxiety, God feeds the birds. Does that mean Christians won't ever starve to death?
That's the direct question. That's the next direct question. And the answer, of course, is no. That's not, we know Christians who have faced all sorts of privation, so it does happen. I think the issue with some of these teachings, we have to remember they're by and large generalisms. He's not saying in every single case you will, no, not in every single case, of course. There's the mysterious or sovereign will of God that unfolds in real space and time for some people. Some believers, some righteous, where they do suffer. They do suffer hunger, thirst, exposure, shipwreck. Like Paul, amongst others, all sorts of things. So no, we can't bank on it that way and say, like, God, you promised you're never going to ever, because then that would be like saying, there'd be no suffering or
Yeah.
trial or hardship, and which the Bible clearly says is not true.
Yeah.
You know?
So if a Christian is starving to death, it's not that God isn't providing for them.
No, we live in a sin-cursed world,
Yeah.
and there's sins, consequence. It's not necessarily the believer's sins. That's what,
No,
not what
yeah.
we're saying. Just that the world is fallen and it's
The world
a
is broken,
mess and it's
yeah.
broken, and yet ultimately we know that even if the righteous suffer, it's not because God is punishing them or forgot about them, and we know that because God punished His own Son for those very sins and the sins of the believers, and all that mess that we and anyone who believes in Christ has or will commit, right?
Yeah.
Has committed or will commit. And so because we know the love and care of God in our salvation, we can then go back to suffering and say, that's not because God forgot,
Yeah.
or God hates me, or God got it wrong. Ultimately there is love in that and glory to Him in that, which maybe in the moment you may not see, right?
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes,
Yeah, of course. I mean, the pain and suffering.
But I think in due time believers do see it.
Yeah.
Even if they don't get the whole picture,
Yeah.
I think we know, like through the suffering, through the affliction, even of not getting what is generally promised, you see the glory and the love of God in it,
Yeah.
ultimately through faith.
Yeah, totally. And
You
at the end of the day, if you do starve to death,
You're going to heaven.
yeah, you win, right?
Yeah, to live is Christ, to die is gain. Yeah.
Awesome. Very good.
Yeah.
Man, thank you so much. So insightful. Appreciate it. All right. Thanks. Hope that's helpful for you.